Hopefulness day 14. Plugged into the wall because my phone is at like 10%. I need to do some laundry. I need to clear this up, and I need to do the video interview stupid thing. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I put this in the fridge. Literally just took it out, so it's gonna be nice and hard. But I wrapped it this time instead of just letting it sit in the fridge unwrapped. So it should be more moist. Let's see. Definitely. Good stuff. I think I'll make the next one tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'll also do sourdough because I forgot to feed it last night. So there's that. So just watched an Adam Ragusi video. He's talking about the Michelin Man, Michelin star system and all that. And it got me thinking about like the nature of people who've managed to transition over to being a full-time YouTuber or something similar. And, you know, this is definitely related to the whole job thing and safety and security and all that stuff. When people are given the opportunity to have a stable life and do what they want, they tend to be more creative. And they tend to expand on that creativity more and more and more. You know, at the end of his video, the very thing that he says with regards to the nature of the Michelin Men is, you know, should we thank the Michelin brothers for having created this guide? You know, did they actually do something, you know, beneficial to the culinary world? That sets up yet another potential video. And that's a thing that you can put your time and your energy into when that is effectively your job. You know, I find it funny that somehow we can't afford to pay for universal basic income, for instance. But somehow we're able to pay for everybody to have a job. That's weird to me. Now, you might be saying, there are two of the completely different things. And universal basic income comes from a totally different pool of money. Sorry, talking with my mouth full, but whatever. It's my video, I do it how I want. But you see, that money's gonna still go somewhere. That money is still going to flow. It's just that now, people don't need to work a shitty job with a shitty manager at some place that they don't even fucking want to go. They get to make a choice. When people say nobody wants to work, that's totally incorrect. People want to work. Even I kind of want to work. I'm doing it with this fucking bread making and shit, you know? That's work. I don't want to do it 100 times a day at a bakery, though. And see, I feel like me saying that means to somebody who says nobody wants to work or you guys are just going to make you lazy, they're failing to understand there are people who might actually want to do it 100 times a day. But their life is not financed appropriately to be able to do it. Even people who are doing it 100 times a day, they're probably not making enough fucking money doing it. So they're not able to enjoy the process. But if those people could do it and their life, their living situation was stabilized and effectively guaranteed that if they got injured at work, if somebody accidentally dumps some boiling water on them or something, and they can go to the fucking hospital and not be bankrupt from it. Because we have Medicare for all, and it's paid for through our taxes, and our taxes come in various forms. It comes from income. It comes from sales tax. It comes from property tax. It comes from so many fucking things. Like how, people talking about, oh, if we raised our taxes to 80% or whatever, it's like, how much do you actually pay in taxes if you think about it? If all of your taxes were simply just lumped into one and taken out of your income, you might actually see how much you really pay, be it through sales tax or property taxes or, registration, what have you. And I get that when you live in a country where your tax dollars don't go a direction you want them to, you don't feel like adding more social services because they're not going to be done right. That makes sense. That's a perfectly legitimate argument. So then what you need to do is start investing your votes, your time, etc. into people who get shit done. I think it's a tweet that was screen capped and gets spread around every now and then. And I see it occasionally on Imgur. And it's about like missionaries coming over to Hawaii and effectively calling the Hawaiians lazy because by the middle of the day they stopped working. But what the missionaries didn't understand was that they got up, they did their work, and they were done by the middle of the day. And so they got to have a life. I don't know if it was missionaries or somebody else, whatever. Could be merchants, I don't give a fuck. It's people whose opinions don't fucking matter. And then, you have these, and of course it probably is missionaries because then, there's a follow-up of things like idle hands of the devil's plaything. And it's like, that's very much the nature of our country too. It's like, in order for you to be worthwhile, in order for you to not be negatively judged, you have to be busting your ass constantly. For what purpose? And then, for what money? So if anybody ever says if you have time to lean, you have time to clean, or something along those lines where you're not allowed to be idle, you're not allowed to just kind of be dicking around for a little bit, ask them. Follow up and say, are you saying that idle hands are the devil's playthings? And if they respond with, well, yeah, actually, then you can say, you can't discriminate against me for my religious practices. Now, they'll probably still tell you to get back to work. Or they'll say something like, don't be a smart ass. That's when you follow up and say, I'm not. I'm following the law. And if you want me to work harder, you're going to pay me more. If you want me to do more, you get to pay me more. I try to remember to name this video. You can't discriminate. I did it again. Discriminate, whatever the hell word that is. You can't discriminate against me for my religious practices. I had this idea a while back whereby I wanted to be kind of like a life coach for people. and how, you know, I wanted to work with people and effectively utilize my understanding of how people work and how society works, etc. And kind of be that person that I needed in my life when I was younger. To be that encouraging person. To be that person that assesses who you are as an individual and tries to come up with ways for you to improve upon not only who you are now, but to work on who you wish to become in the future. Anybody can call themselves a fucking life coach, though. And, you know, what do I have that other people don't? I don't know. But then it got me thinking more. And then I started I joined TikTok and I haven't posted any videos whatsoever. But I was thinking, you know, I ended up calling it, you know, Success Tips from a Failure, which is, you know, the name of another video. But it got me thinking more so recently. You know, I was thinking about doing the whole Twitch thing and just kind of just chatting, but just bullshitting like this doesn't really serve a purpose. It's not interactive for one. And even if you throw in interactive stuff, it doesn't have a focus. It doesn't have an angle. And I thought of one that I might actually try. It's going to take a bit of mental discipline to sit down and do it. But there's something that I've said that a lot of people don't believe, but I straight up believe is true. Everybody is interesting. everyone. Every single person is interesting. However, and this does tie back to what I was talking about, often our interests, which are often the things that make us interesting, are shunned. Especially because they won't make money. And so then we value ourselves as interesting people less and less because the things we are interested in are not valuable. So I'd like to try to challenge people that. And maybe I could do it on a live stream. I figure when you have interactivity, when you have, well, things that I'm looking for, the back and forth, the actual dialogue, discussion. But when you're talking about people, and when a person can talk about themselves, and when you can get a person to open up about themselves, especially when they don't think they're interesting, that's when you find some really interesting stories. And I might not be good at it. I don't know. I never really was good at the interview process. But probably because I was going about it the wrong way for me. And I think that's important. It's just like anybody else, might be interesting, etc. So, everybody's interesting. I can prove it to you. Have fun.